NCIS Season 22, Episode 9, Humbug delivers shocking twists and jaw-dropping moments. The latest episode of NCIS, titled A Humbug, has left fans on the edge of their seats with a whirlwind of surprises, heart-pounding action, and emotional reveals. Episode 9 of Season 22 didn't hold back, delivering 10 of the most unforgettable moments of the season so far. From unexpected character twists to shocking revelations, the storyline has taken a gripping turn that fans didn't see coming. If you think you know where the plot is headed, think again. Viewers are buzzing about a particular scene that changes everything for a fan-favorite character. Wondering what it is? You'll have to watch to believe it. Don't miss out on the full breakdown of all the jaw-dropping highlights. This episode is guaranteed to have everyone talking. Hey, lovely viewers, welcome to our channel Shows Update. Review of NCIS Season 22, Episode 9, Humbug. We have been waiting for NCIS Season 22, Episode 9, Humbug, to wrap up the first half of the season and go on break, and we are happy with the direction the show is taking. It was a very fulfilling hour that also managed to be endearing and even a little bit Christmassy, from the Torres focus to his secret girlfriend to the episode when the team versus LaRoche played out and the team won. Actually, the only thing that the season's first half failed to provide us with was any clarification on Jessica and Jimmy. After all the setup and time spent together, it is illogical for the program to end things now, but they don't appear to be in a rush to bring them back together. It is difficult to dispute that the two are learning the lessons they needed to learn apart before they could genuinely reconcile. Rather, it seems as though they are simply learning to live apart. However, the season's first half was generally strong, with a few particularly noteworthy moments. We'd love to see Jessica and Jimmy's response in the second half, certainly more of the LaRoche and Lily storylines, and, please, more attention paid to Casey as a person. Here, we're pleading. LaRoche provides the crew with a shared foe to fight together against, which is why he performs so well in NCIS Season 22, Episode 9, Humbug, and generally. Although he initially and likely will continue to be mostly a Jimmy foil because he accepted the position Jimmy wanted, this episode showed that Parker is on par with Jimmy and the team isn't far behind. They dislike outsiders telling them what to do, and they most definitely don't trust the deputy director, even if they don't detest LaRoche as much as Jimmy does. That they wouldn't make sense. Naturally, this team has undergone changes over the years. At this point, McGee has collaborated with so many different people that he has trusted with his life that it's becoming somewhat comical. However, they have all been distinct from someone like LaRoche since they have both won Jimmy's trust and been out in the field with him. It's as easy as that. LaRoche appears more dubious by the moment, and he hasn't done that either. He actually seems so dodgy that I'm beginning to wonder why Vance doesn't see it. For me, he is so suspenseful that he probably needs to tone it down a bit or his plot will end sooner rather than later. However, as of right now, it's still primarily a McGee situation, with the squad scoffing at LaRoche's directives and partially believing Jimmy's gut. However, LaRoche will most likely take action soon that will convince the squad as a whole to support Jimmy's "he's a problem" mentality. After that, this plot will get incredibly entertaining. A fresh mystery is introduced in NCIS Season 22, Episode 9, Humbug, which will undoubtedly be discussed when NCIS returns in January. Nick Torres is eager to spend Christmas with this strange woman, but who is she? From where did she originate? How has the relationship developed so quickly without our knowledge? Is it someone we know already? Since the show doesn't identify the person Torres is speaking to, it's unlikely to be Bishop, who has caused him to struggle with trust in recent years, but it's still possible. Especially because he kept the squad in the dark about who he was dating. However, even if Emily Wickersham wanted to come back to the program, Bishop's departure would make this problematic. However, if it's someone fresh, who might it be that Torres fans would readily accept? This episode had a lot of discussion on accepting help and letting go of guilt. At first, it seemed that Torres was still in the negative part of the Samuel Cross comparison, but maybe he isn't. Perhaps this relationship is contributing to his coming out on the other side. If that's the case, supporters will want to find out as quickly as possible who the lucky lady is. Additional, would you like a comprehensive list of Gibbs rules? We have one for you. Things I believe. Does the copier's artificial warmth make them all huddle together? Yes, they are. Nick, why are you keeping your Christmas preparations so secret? I'm glad McGee doesn't hide that from the team and basically says, I think LaRoche is sus. Fun, a narrative that revolves around books. I'm not kidding when I say that I enjoy this. Parker earns a prize for sassiness for saying that he can't wait for LaRoche to join the team. Jimmy also reprimanded LaRoche for eating in the laboratory. My tiny group. Is LaRoche intentionally being such a bother, or does he simply lack bedside manners? Why are you lying again, Nick? Why even invite someone in, Cross? By you shouldn't have met Cross without me, what does LaRoche mean? Does he believe that without him, this highly skilled crew cannot perform their duties? It was good that Jess and Casey saw right through Nick. To be honest, it was a wonderful touch that they dropped McGee's author character. Alright, but how I hate LaRoche. You're projecting a little bit, Torres. I won't lie, everything worked out better than I had anticipated. There are Christmas miracles. Was LaRoche held accountable? More like took the credit. It's not about me. How are you, struck me with a vengeance. Sweetheart? Darling? Do you agree? Do you disagree? How did you feel about A Humbug, the 9th episode of NCIS Season 22? Tell us in the comments section below. CBS broadcasts NCIS Mondays at September 8th. See. Our NCIS reviews are as follows. Episode 1 of NCIS Season 22. Episode 2 of NCIS Season 22. Episode 3 of Season 22 of NCIS. Episode 4 of NCIS Season 22. Episode 5 of Season 22 of NCIS. Episode 6 of Season 22 of NCIS. Episode 7 of Season 22 of NCIS. Episode 8 of Season 22 of NCIS. Episode 9 Recap of NCIS Season 22 10 Most Important Scenes and Disclosures. In the holiday-themed mid-season finale, Parker's Major Case Response Team, MCRT, encounters a number of challenges that set up NCIS for its post-New Year's return. After a truncated Season 21 due to writer strikes, NCIS Season 22 boasts a full slate of episodes, marking an amazing journey for the team thus far. Observing the dynamics of the squad since Jessica Knight's return in the NCIS Season 22 debut has revealed some intricate relationships and plot points. One of the few individuals who has first-hand knowledge of Parker's Lily mystery, which started in the NCIS Season 21 finale, is Knight. In the previous outing, Parker's mysterious girl makes a reappearance, and in Episode 9, the agent feels better. Gabrielle LaRoche, the deputy director of NCIS, makes a reappearance in the holiday episode, and her narrative will probably be revisited when the show returns after the new year. After losing his job, McGee continues to have misgivings about the boss. An explanation of the case in NCIS Season 22, Episode 9. NCIS examines Marley Jagger's Darkness at Dawn. The team looks into leaked passages from a military tell-all book that could jeopardize a veteran's bill status in NCIS Season 22, Episode 9. According to the harsh report, 3 of Hastings' Marines were killed during a 2010 Taliban invasion in Afghanistan as a result of the lieutenant's carelessness. Hastings is the face of the Veterans Bill. The Department of Defense and SecNav are participating in the lawsuit because they want to keep the bill intact and have a lot riding on the outcome. Cast of NCIS Season 22. Personas: Gary Cole, Parker, Alden, Murray, Sean, McGee, Timothy, Tim, Dietzen, Brian, Palmer, Dr. James, Jimmy, The Katrina Law, Knight, Jessica, Jess, Valderrama, Wilmer, Torres, Nicholas, and Nick, Deanna, Reasonover, Hines, Casey, Carol, Roscoe, Iraqi, Vance, Leon. In order to find Hastings at the motorcycle repair shop he runs and uses to hire injured veterans, the crew looks into the claims made in the book as the program goes on. Because he threw an enemy's grenade away to protect his squad on the night of the attack in Afghanistan, Hastings is a highly praised Marine. However, the book asserts otherwise. The team looks into Hastings' handling of the night the Taliban attacked his soldiers, despite his assertions that he doesn't need their assistance. At NCIS headquarters, the heat is out. During their holiday excursion, Parker's MCRT wears coats. While they look into their tell-all case, the crew has to cope with annoying situations. The squad is forced to wear their winter attire in the bullpen since the heat is out at NCIS headquarters just in time for the Christmas. To stay warm, Jess, McGee, Torres, and Parker put on jackets, scarves, and gloves, but they have a much more elaborate plan in the works. The crew assembles around the photocopier to discuss the case while making copies of their hands to feel the warmth of the machine. With the Christmas tree in the bullpen and strings of holiday lights hanging from the ceiling, the squad wearing their winter coats made it feel like the holidays, even though it isn't ideal. Parker's MCRT occasionally finds that discussing their case in the outdoor cafe or at autopsy is more comfortable than their typical meeting space. All of NCIS headquarters is affected by the bitter cold, with the exception of Vance's office, which remains warm in contrast to the rest of the building's problems. Gabrielle LaRoche, deputy director of NCIS, joins Parker's case. The villain character from NCIS Season 22 returns. A hated character reappears just when it looks that MCRT's discomfort can't get any worse. Gabrielle LaRoche was unveiled as the new NCIS deputy director in the season opener of NCIS Season 22. LaRoche defeated McGee of NCIS for the job, who wanted to improve his career by getting more consistent hours to boost his reputation and please his wife, Delilah. In spite of Parker's team's misgivings about their new commander, LaRoche makes a comeback in Episode 9. Even though LaRoche is a villain in the premiere, the director is mostly endearing and helpful in Humbug. Despite MCRT's continued mistrust of LaRoche, he supports them and even accepts the blame for them. As a result, LaRoche's entrance in Episode 9 casts doubt on his reputation as a villain. There might be another reason for Parker and the team's information leak, which suggested that LaRoche was a mole, even if it seemed like they were neglecting the most hazardous case from NCIS Season 22. Nick Torres tells falsehoods about his holiday plans. Nick has a sweetheart. As they get ready for the holidays, the team reveals their Christmas plans. McGee says in the bullpen that he thinks it's perfect to spend Christmas with Delilah and his twins. Reminiscent of Feng Zhao from NCIS Season 21, Knight remarks that she will listen to her father gripe about his retirement. Nick tells Knight and McGee that he will be spending Christmas with the Palmers, but his co-workers point out that he has a night of caroling planned. However, the doctor comments that Nick told him he was spending Christmas with McGee's family when McGee shares the arrangements with Jimmy. Jess confronts Nick after the discrepancy shows that he is concealing his vacation intentions. The Torres receive a text from an enigmatic sender confirming their vacation arrangements, proving that Nick is lying when he claims he plans to take the day off. Confirming, Torres refers to the sender as a babe. Casey connects Evan Cross's brother Samuel Cross to the tell-all book. Casey is essential to the case in episode 9. During her investigation into the forums surrounding the publishing of the tell-all book, Casey Hines discovers an unprotected IP address and connects Samuel Cross to the book's author. Casey learns that Samuel Cross is using a pen name to write the expose book and that his brother, Evan, was among the Marines killed in the assault that he attributes to Hastings. Cross is reluctant to talk about the book in public when Parker and Nick visit him, even though he unintentionally allowed NCIS into his flat. To look into Cross's accusations, NCIS requests the book's complete text even though they have the leaked portions. Although there is no evidence in the book excerpts to support Cross's allegations, Samuel stands by his charges. The image of Samuel Cross appears on the screen when a Marine from Hastings' platoon visits NCIS to deliver letters of support for Hastings. He describes how Samuel served in Hastings' battalion but, following the murder of his brother, left the tour in silence. For the case, MCRT revives McGee's author persona. Tom E. Gem City returns to the NCIS. To find and fully examine Samuel Cross's claim, NCIS is resolved to obtain a copy of the exposed manuscript. Thinking beyond the box, Jessica Knight speculates that because Timothy McGee has contacts in the publishing industry, he might be able to obtain the entire text. Following a lengthy break from writing crime thrillers, McGee resumes his writing profession as Tom E. Gem City, going somewhat undercover with Jess to strengthen their case. At the diner, McGee and Jess meet the publisher of the biting tell-all novel. Agent Knight informs him that they need evidence that he can manage their delicate manuscript and advises them to show him a copy of his most recent tell-all so they can feel secure. "We will take it into consideration if they sweeten the pot," the publisher says, despite the security risk of publishing the work. After promising a copy of Tom E. Gem City's new book in exchange, Jess persuades the publisher to agree. Parker and LaRoche address Hastings regarding the radio broadcast. Hastings admits to preserving his Marines. Once the crew has access to the entire book, they alternately search it for relevant details to support Samuel Cross's assertion. McGee ultimately finds a section of the text that discusses a botched radio communication that was never recorded but warned of the attack that killed 3 Marines. The group comes to the conclusion that Samuel Cross holds Hastings responsible for the breakdown in communication, and when Parker and LaRoche approach him, Hastings is held accountable. Guest cast for NCIS Season 22, Episode 9, Humbug. Personas: Dever Seamus, Gabriel LaRoche, Deputy Director of NCIS. Gross, Demetrius. Merritt Hastings, Lieutenant. Hines, Garrett. Cross, Samuel. Carbuccia Sommer. Zanella, Brian. Bender, Cameron. Gates, Martin. Baltaboyana. The widow of Evan Cross. Anthony Derrick. Lennox Kincaid, NCIS maintenance worker. Thomas Ramsey. Cross, Evan. The commanding officer acknowledges that he neglected to disclose the radio broadcast when Parker and LaRoche return to Hastings' shop. Because of the confession, SecNav can save their veterans' bill by having someone to blame. Parker, however, thinks there is more to the narrative and that Hastings is lying to keep his Marine platoon safe. LaRoche instructs the team to stop their inquiry as they attempt to determine who concealed the unsuccessful radio broadcast, stating that SecNav has the confession required to close the case. To solve the case, NCIS supports LaRoche and SecNav. Ducky's former office is finally used by MCRT. As a group of journalists watch, Hastings' old unit mates storm into Samuel Cross's flat and demand that he withdraw his book. Parker and his crew are told to step aside by SecNav and LaRoche after a picture showing McGee's role in the altercation appears on the top page of a Washington newspaper. Nevertheless, Parker and his group are certain that they are missing something, so they support LaRoche and SecNav in their search for solutions. NCIS Season 22's new Ducky tribute, the Dr. Donald Mallard Memorial Multi-Purpose Room, is a great tool for Parker's squad. Following Nick Torres' suggestion, the group transformed Ducky's former NCIS historian office into a space that could be used for a variety of purposes. Since NCIS Season 22, Episode 3, we haven't seen Duckies in action very often. When the show resumes after the new year, hopefully, the crew will make use of their symbolic water cooler. Casey learns that their unsuccessful radio transmission was a technical glitch and that no one is at fault. Casey finds some holiday joy. Casey keeps investigating as the team works clandestinely, and based on a video that Hastings Marine provides NCIS to demonstrate how close his unit is, he makes a significant discovery. The crew noticed a strange glitch in the brief film, which the forensic scientist attributed to malfunctioning equipment used under harsh conditions. But as Casey investigates deeper, she finds that the radio malfunctioned due to a nearly undetectable fault. The fact that NCIS salvaged Hastings' confession demonstrates that he lied about his involvement in the tale to shield his fellow Marines. According to Samuel Cross, the team had verified that a record of the transmission existed, indicating that a radio operator was responsible for the communication failure. However, Casey's discoveries clear everyone of responsibility by demonstrating how the radio malfunctioned on its own. The fact that NCIS salvaged Hastings' confession demonstrates that he lied about his involvement in the tale to shield his fellow Marines. However, as Nick and others point out, Samuel Cross is in a bad place and doesn't want to pull the book. Nick collaborates with other veterans and Evan's widow. Evan Cross's battle is not his only one. Nick takes the initiative to persuade Samuel Cross to rescind his book after the team's discovery. Evan Cross's widow, with whom the team had already spoken, demonstrated that the dead Marine was a competent technician and probably not responsible for the radio's malfunction. At the diner, Nick and Evan's widow run into Samuel. When he understands it's a setup, he starts to leave, but Nick persuades him to stay and confronts him with something he saw in his file. Nick learns that Samuel Cross's intense sadness and guilt over his brother's deaths are what drove him to publish the exposed book. Nick discloses that radio operator Samuel Cross concealed an injury before to deployment. However, Samuel discloses that his younger brother Evan had to take over after he had to resign from his position due to the severity of his injury. Nick therefore learns that Samuel Cross's deep sorrow and shame about the reason behind his brother's death are what drove him to write the exposed book. But there is still hope for Samuel. In order to show Samuel that he is not alone and that they understand him, Nick rallies Marines from Hastings' platoon and other locations. Even Samuel makes amends with Hastings, showing up at his motorcycle repair business to apologize. However, in a touching and heartfelt NCIS conclusion, Hastings wants to know how Samuel is doing, and the crestfallen Marine admits he misses his brother, letting go of the grief and anger he was experiencing. Thanks for watching this videos. Please hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up.